up, peeps? Today we're doing a massive summer meal prep, so buckle up. Let's do it. So if you're new to this channel, my name is Steph. I'm a stay-at-home mom to two little ones, and we like to cook. I cook a lot from scratch. I like to meal prep. I like to do freezer meals. I like to have meals ready, little tips and tricks that I like to share with you guys along the way. So if you're interested in that content, hit that subscribe button. But today we are going to be doing a big meal prep. My husband took the kids to the grandparents for the day, and I got a list and we got to get cooking. So let's start. Peeps, welcome! Welcome to the corner where I do all my chopping. I feel like you guys are like in my kitchen right now and we're live. This is so weird. Anyway, I'm gonna chop up the stuff for my marinara sauce. I'm gonna do an onion, some mushrooms, and some zucchini. The mushrooms and zucchini are not in this recipe. I'm adding them to add in some extra vegetables because why the heck wouldn't you? Spaghetti sauce is a really good way to get extra veggies in your kids because the sauce is so strong of tomatoes, they won't even taste the veggies. So if you can cut them up small enough or shred them, they won't even know. Fun fact. I forgot my scraps bucket. Hold on. Can't forget the scrap bucket. You guys haven't seen my other video on the scrap bucket, so you're not going into your garbage or your compost every 5 seconds. Just save your yogurt containers or a small bowl and throw it in there, and then at the end, throw them in. I should add that I'm making a red lentil spaghetti sauce. This is not croutons. That is the wrong label, but I'm gonna make a red lentil spaghetti sauce. We're trying to eat a little bit less meat for health reasons. I'll also leave the recipe link down below as well. Don't be afraid of the mushroom stems. They're good for you. Throw them in. Guys, the sun's coming out. Yay. So funny, it was supposed to rain all day today. The weather people are the only job you can be wrong. Do you see me? You can be wrong. And you don't get fired for it. I want that job. I need to be wrong. All right, I've got my big Dutch oven pot here. I'm gonna add in some oil. And I'm gonna get these veggies started to saute. Maybe I should read the recipe first though, because that, you know, maybe I'm doing something wrong. Let's just see what it says. Oil and butter, see? Oh, I almost messed it up already. Now, did I tell you I'm doubling this recipe? I'm doubling this recipe because it freezes. Spaghetti sauce is one thing you can make ahead of time and it freezes so well. And then you have it in your freezer. You can keep it in your freezer and then you can use it for so many different things. So for example, we're gonna have spaghetti tonight with noodles and garlic bread and the fixings and all that. And then I'm gonna freeze the rest of the sauce and use it for meatball subs next week when we have those. And then if I have any left over, you can use it for chicken parm, or you can add it to other sauces, or there's just so many things you can do with it. Sometimes I'll add some in chili just for flavor, you know? All right, so we're gonna let this get nice and hot, and then we're gonna add in our veggies. All right, so my butter and oil have come together. The butter's just starting to sizzle a little bit, so I'm gonna add in the vegetables. Now I'm gonna wipe down my cutting board because these onions are strong. I'm crying. Ugh. Cooking is so emotional. Okay, so while this is cooking, I hope you guys can hear me. I measured out some red cooking wine. I do not have cooking wine. I do not buy that. I buy real wine. So this is just some red wine, which I will taste. Don't worry, to make sure it's good, not to worry. And then I don't have vegan or vegetarian bone broth. I'm just using chicken broth, and then some tomato paste. Now just keep in mind I am doubling this recipe. I'll say that again. So make sure if you only want a single portion, then look at the description. But a fun fact is, if you do not want, or you have a recipe that only calls for like 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, or you know, not the whole can, just freeze it. Throw in a couple ice cube trays. They're roughly about a tablespoon, and freeze it, and then throw it in a Ziploc bag when they're frozen. And then you can just pull them out when you need them. Don't waste your tomato paste. All right, I forgot to add the garlic paste, so I'm gonna add that in now. Just gonna let this get fragrant, which means you can smell garlic. Oh my cat. All right, I smell garlic. So now I'm gonna add in the broth. What do you want, kitty cat? And the wine. also gonna throw in some chopped tomatoes, which need about 6 to 8 medium tomatoes. So I had about 4 large tomatoes. So I'm also gonna throw in a can of diced tomatoes. My cat heard the can opener and thinks it's tuna. It's not, buddy, it's tomato paste. Sorry. I know, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, I ruined your life. Made you get up. I know you got up off the couch and everything. The smell is amazing, I will say that. Literally in this recipe, it says when you mix all this together, it should look like a nice sauce. Like, what does that mean? Does this look like a nice sauce? This looks too purple for me. It's still very winey. I'm gonna go grab that can of diced tomatoes and throw that in and maybe it'll help. All right, we'll add in these diced tomatoes. There, that looks better. Smells good. Let's read the recipe so I don't mess it up again. All right, peeps, we got a break in the rain. We're gonna go get the basil. Mission accomplished. Acquired. Probably should have wiped this. Probably should also wash this. I love having fresh basil. And yes, I took these off of the plant because it was getting out of hand how big my basil plant is. And I'm just not gonna be able to keep up. So I just trimmed these little branches off and I'm gonna use these up and then hopefully I don't kill my plant. So for fresh basil, if you've never used fresh basil before, you just want to get a couple leaves. Can you guys see this? And then you just roll it into like a log. And then you just chop it. And sprinkle, sprinkle. All right, we also need some sugar. It calls for organic cane sugar. Well, I don't have that. So we'll just do some regular sugar and some oregano, dried oregano. I'm measuring so well, I know. And some salt and pepper. My cat's still mad at me. Okay, so now we want to turn this down to low and partially cover, or maybe cover, let me read that again, and we're gonna simmer this for about 20 minutes. Oh, uncovered. Uncovered, uncovered, uncovered. What? Sorry, your life is ruined. So what I should have done is been smart and chopped all my stuff, all my veggies up at the same time, but I just wanted to really get that sauce going. I was nervous, it's a new sauce. You guys make me nervous because I want to do it good for you, so. All right, peeps, so I've just got some butter melted in a pan here, and I chopped up some mushrooms, zucchini, and green pepper. And I'm just gonna fry these up. We can throw these in eggs, omelets. We can also use it on pizzas. So I like to do this in the beginning of the week. Also, if you were gonna make another sauce of some kind or a stir fry, you can also throw these in that. But just having some fresh veggies chopped, cooked up, ready to go, super, super helpful. All right, these are looking good. Okay, now comes the part of the show where we try not to scald ourselves with boiling tomato sauce. We want you to take an immersion blender and blend this. So rest in peace, my skin. Let's see how this goes. Okay, we're gonna call that good because I didn't burn myself and I don't mind some chunks. So we'll call that a win. Okay, so now we're gonna add in the lentils. So I just measured them out here. And again, I'm doubling this recipe, so just keep that in mind. That actually looks pretty darn good, peeps. Let's see what's next. Okay, so we simmer this uncovered for another 20 to 25 minutes. I'm gonna do 25, and then it's done. So we'll just let this guy sit for a little bit. All right, peeps, I needed to change the scenery and I needed to sit down for a minute. So I've got some fresh blueberries. I picked these up at Costco, a huge tub of them, and I need to use them up because they're already starting to go a bit mushy. I grabbed these peaches from Food Basics this week and they were not good. They were like dry, you know, when they're dry and like pasty. So needless to say, we have not really eaten them and they're starting to go kind of crinkly. Then I've got some frozen spinach, and then I've got these 2 fruit blends that I got, but there's not much left in them. So I figure what I'm gonna do is just make up some smoothie packs and then throw them in the freezer, and then during the week for quick breakfast or snacks, my kids love smoothies for snacks, I can just dump them in the blender and add in almond milk or whole milk for them. So that's what we're gonna do. So I think I'm gonna make some blueberry peach smoothies, and then I'm just gonna throw these in freezer bags with some spinach and call it a day, and then that frees up some space in my freezer as well. So let's do it. All right, so out of that I got 6 smoothie packs. I've got a mixed berry, 3 of the blueberry peach, and then a pineapple dragon fruit, passion fruit, and then kind of a mixture of everything. But all of them have spinach, and then I just have to pop them in the blender with some milk and some yogurt if I want, and they're good to go. Super easy. Okay, so now we're gonna make some banana pancakes for my kids. So to my blender, I just added 2 ripe bananas, 2 eggs, and a cup of oats. I'm gonna blend this all together and then cook them on the stove. Almost forgot the cinnamon. All right, peeps, so I've let my spaghetti sauce cool, and now I'm just going to put it into this container. I use these are just from the dollar store. I like these for freezing sauces because they're like a really good size. But I'm gonna freeze probably about half of this, and then the other half I'll use for supper tonight. And this made a lot. There we go, that's what we're gonna freeze. I'm just gonna grab a piece of tape and label this as my lentil spaghetti sauce. All right, peeps, so now we're gonna make one of my favorite meatball recipes, and today I'm using ground turkey. This is originally what this recipe uses. I have made it with beef, but I find the turkey just tastes better. So I've got 2 pounds of turkey, and I'm gonna add in 2 eggs. A 1/4 cup of green onion, a cup of breadcrumbs. I'm just using Italian seasoned breadcrumbs. If you don't have breadcrumbs, you can also crush up crackers, that works too. And then half teaspoon of garlic powder and some salt and pepper. That's it, so easy. I'm gonna take my rings off and make these into meatballs. Okay, so with this recipe, you have a couple options. So I made these meatballs a little bit bigger because I'm gonna be using these for meatball subs, but I will show you how to make them a bit smaller. But I wanted to show you at this stage, you can, if you're using fresh meat that you haven't frozen yet, you can throw this entire pan in your freezer, let them freeze, and then throw them in a freezer bag and throw them in the freezer until you're ready to use them. You just bake them at 375 for 25 to 30 minutes. I'll leave the recipe link down below. These ones might take a bit longer because they're bigger, but anyway. Or you can bake them, which is what I'm gonna do because my meat was already frozen. I'm gonna bake them and then I'm going to freeze them after they've cooled. So you have 2 options. Your choice. The choice is yours. Alright peeps, well that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this meal prep. If you like what you see, subscribe, and I'll leave all my links to my social medias down below, as well as the original recipes. And I will see you all in the next video.